other countries around the world that have sent their children back to school safely. It's time to send them back to school safely, and for each jurisdiction to take into consideration what their community needs as they bring their children back to school.
Thank you, Andy. Now we're going to hear from Dr. Simone Gold, who's an emergency room doc in LA, and also an attorney.
You're good.
And that's important because I'm an attorney, and I think you should know what you're an attorney. And then after she's done, we're going to go to Dr. Terrence Clark, who's a neurologist.
Thank you so much. As our congressman said, I'm a board-certified emergency physician. I think that's important because I do treat COVID patients all day long. That's what I do. And I'm here to tell you that this is not a risky problem or health situation for the younger generation. We are a society of all generations. The generation we need to be protecting, to the extent that we have any kind of restrictions, are older people with multiple comorbid conditions. The data is crystal clear. It is not ambiguous in the least. Everyone, I urge you, if you're worried about this, parent, you're fearful about this, you can go yourself right now to cdc.gov and you can search by age, and you can see that people under age 24 essentially do not die from this condition. Which brings me to my main point about the schools. You must never forget that schools exist for the benefit of the children. They do not exist for the benefit and convenience of the adults. That always has to be first in mind when you consider school policies. Everything in life entails some risk. We need to put children where it is less risky. It is far riskier to keep children out of school than to keep them in school for many reasons that we've already heard. And lastly, we came here today as scientists and as doctors to share what we know to be scientifically true as physicians with congressmen. I urge parents who are listening, request a town hall meeting with your congressman. Require them to bring medical experts and the data and the science. Your fear will be assuaged. It is safe for your children to go back to school. It is much riskier for children not to go back to school, and you need to hear directly from frontline doctors, frontline experts. Thank you.
Thank you. I just wanted to emphasize that the United States is not blazing a trail in terms of getting our kids back to school. We're not suggesting that as scientists we want to experiment on our children and our teachers as guinea pigs. That couldn't be farther from the case. There are many countries in the world who have already returned to school without distancing, without masks. They've returned to school as normally as it was before the lockdowns. So there are great examples from all over the world. They haven't seen a resurgence of death in those communities, and they haven't seen the elderly getting sick from those children. So what we're talking about today is not putting our children or our teachers at excessive risk for to answer a question of, is this the right path forward? It's already been demonstrated in multiple other countries that this is the right path forward, and it's time for the United States to follow those examples. Thank you.
Thank you, Drs. Gold and Clark. And now we're going to hear from Congressman Dan Bishop from North Carolina, after which Ralph Norman from South Carolina, Congressman from South Carolina.
Thank you, Congressman Biggs, and thank you to these courageous and brilliant physicians who've joined us today to make the case on the basis of science and data that our children need to be in school and that we can't keep schools shut down. I urge two things today that I want to highlight. Others have had comments on other points. Dr. Hamilton said something at the beginning of our session that was impressive to me, or that struck me. I'm the last of 5 children. Dr. Hamilton has had 6 children. And as he said, he adores children. And I know that those who advocate for the interests of children, those who believe in public education, know that children are being harmed, deeply harmed, by extended periods out of school. That needs to get resolved. And we're not going to have a situation in which we can say it's a polar question. You either have safety or risk. There are a multitude of risks in our lives at all times. We always have a multitude of viruses in our society. But this virus, thankfully, does not significantly harm children. And children, therefore, can be in school, and they must be in school, because we cannot abide the harm that will occur to them otherwise. Again, the youth physicians who joined us, I really do appreciate what you're contributing to the American dialogue. People need to hear your voices, and they need to be aware, because you give them comfort and help them with what they already know, and that is that the right thing is for their children to be in school with teachers being educated, so that they can have the benefits of strong education and the value that it provides in every human life. Thank you very much. Congressman Ralph Norman.
Thank you, Dan. Let me just end this by saying this. My takeaways this morning, we had 5 physicians. They all represented different areas of expertise. They all 5 agreed it's time to open schools back up. Second, this is going to come from the grassroots. We've got to get all the teachers, the administration. It's time to open schools. It's time to fight for what's best for the children. And as everyone up here has mentioned, children are suffering. They've got to get back in school. It's not workable now. It's not workable for the parents. So we're going to do this from the ground up. Andy, I want to thank you for leading us in the Freedom Caucus. We're going to take this issue to the people because it's the right thing at the right time, and it's right for the children. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ralph. I appreciate everyone appreciate the media for being here, and appreciate those who've spoken to us. We have time for maybe just a couple questions. If there's a question.
For Dr. Harris, please, since you're among the medical physicians who's also in Congress, the special education student doesn't necessarily understand health safety provisions that could be understood by other students in a school. How do you address that part of the school system?
Well, one of the points is that, as you've heard, other systems around the world have gone back to normal school conditions. That in fact, this idea that you have to separate people with students by 6 feet, even on a school bus, is probably not necessary. So I would address it by saying, let's learn from the international experience where other school systems have gone back to basically pre-COVID school conditions without serious repercussions for their communities.
You brought up an issue that's near and dear to my heart. There's not one typical student. There are gifted students, there are special education students. They all matter. This lockdown and masks and 6 feet apart is extraordinarily harmful for children in the special education system. We hear that over and over again. They're losing opportunities to socialize. They're losing opportunities to do facial recognition. These are very important things for young children, especially those people with special needs. In fact, it's for the special needs children that I'm advocating at the moment. Thank you.
And if I might jump in, and as I think most people would recognize, there are a lot of students who fall into the category that you were talking about, but every IEP, every student with a special need may have something different. A lot of them we can deal with, but some are going to have special plans drawn up for this particular situation, and that's just something that every one of the school districts is going to have to deal with. But that's not a reason to not open the schools. It just makes it a little more complicated on our educators out there. But they're ready for the challenge in my district, I know that, and I think they're ready for the challenge across the country to try to make sure that every child has that opportunity to be educated to the best of their ability. But for a lot of the children, whether it be emotional needs or educational needs, where they have intellectual disabilities, etc., missing school puts them behind, not just for a few weeks or a few months, but perhaps for a lifetime.
Thank you. I'd like to say one thing about this as a pediatrician. I mean, certainly putting the kids back in school would require thinking and a process. Won't be maybe exactly what we thought before. We need to do it creatively. We need to do it with an abundance of knowledge and wisdom, but it can be done. And the special education kids, indeed, they do present a unique situation, but there's no question in my mind that when we look at it, we look at each individual classroom uniquely. The getting them back is absolutely a possibility, and I don't think you're putting anybody at risk for doing that. Thank you.
This question actually addresses exactly why the CDC needs to revise the guidelines. The guidelines right now are going to prevent people from going back to school. Some of the people who are special needs are the ones who need to be in school the most. And with that said, there are other people, other students, and other adult teachers and others who work in schools who are going to be at high risk, and we have to make sure that we're balancing the deadliness of the virus, and that we protect those and make arrangements for those, while also balancing what's best for those who are not at high risk.